In the previous task, we were working on our started and ended pickers, and everything looks good so far. But we still have one problem here. Now let's say if you select a 10th of September as started and 19th of September as ended. Now see that? It still allows you to book the reservation without knowing that between those dates we have one reservation here. So technically you can't make a booking. So our task in this video is to check and see whether we have any reservation between this date range. In our project folder, open F, controllers, and reservation controller. So here we're going to create a new private function to check the conflict. So under the private, I'm going to create a new method. And I'm going to call that is conflict. And I'm going to pass the started and ended. So what we do here first, we're going to find a room based on the params room ID. And then we're going to check, alright, and pretty much the same as we done before. So we got room.reservations. So first we get all the reservations belong to this room, and we're going to check to see whether we have the condition like this. So started and ended less than the second question mark. Okay, so for the first question mark, we're going to say started, and for the second question mark, we're going to end it. All right, so basically, we're going to check if we can find any room reservation between this date started and ended. Now, and then we're going to check if we can find that. So return true, otherwise we're going to return false. So first we're going to check the check sign here. If that is greater than 0, that means we have reservation between that date range. Then we're going to return true, that means it's conflict. Otherwise, we're going to return false. Then we're going to create a new action name preview here. So under here, I'm going to create a new preview. And first, we're going to get started, which is date. And we're going to get it from the params started. You have to pass it because this one is a string, so you have to convert from string to date. And we're going to do the same thing with ended. Okay, so after that we need to create an output, and we're going to say conflict, and then we're going to run the isConflict function, started, ended. After that, we just render to JSON, and we're going to return the output. So what it does, we just get a conflict, and this conflict going to be true or false based on this function, and then we're going to return that true or false value back to the view. As we just create a new action in the reservation controller, so open config routes.rb, and now we're going to do the same thing with this. So I'll just copy that, and I'm going to say preview, and this one change to preview. Okay. Now it's time to modify our view, so open F, views, reservations, and form.html.exe. First, let's modify the book now button. And I'm going to scroll a bit down here. And first thing I want to do is disable this one. So I'm going to say disable to the true. And also I want to make this button a bit wide, so I'll just create a new class name wide. We don't have this one yet, so we're going to do it now. So under F access, style sheets, and application.scss. So here we're going to create a new class name white, and we'll say the width should be 100%. Save it. Restart the server and open your web browser. Let's go to the room 3 just like this, and you can see the new button which is disabled, right? You can't click on this, and now it's white. So now you can't click on this because we want user to select a date range first, and when user click on the start date or end date, it will send a request to our preview action of the reservation controller to check if this date range is available. Now we've done the path for the controller, but we haven't done it for the view yet, so we'll do it now. Back to our project, let's open the reservation form. Okay, so right here under the end date picker, we're going to say, so on the select event, right? First, we're going to create a new start date variable, and this one we're going to get from, actually I'll just copy this one, start date, and put it here, and here we're going to say get date, right? We're going to do that with the end date, and I'll go to end date, reservation end date. Yeah, now actually it's because we already in the reservation end date here, so another way you can do is just make sure you can say this, so that means it's point to the reservation end date here. Just to give you another option. Okay, so now we're going to create a new input, and this is a collection of different parameters. So let's say for start date, and I'm going to pass a start date, and for end date, and for the room ID, right? So for room ID, we're going to pass this. It's room.id. Okay. Now for AJAX, it's pretty much similar to what we've done before. So AJAX function. So here we're going to say URL. It would be preview, and for the data, which is the parameters, so we're going to say input, which is that from here. We're going to success function, okay, so now in the success function we're going to check if data.config, then we're going to say has message dot text, this date range is not available. And we're going to say the preview should be hide. All right. And also, and we're going to disable the book now button, which is btn book. Okay, dot attribute disabled, set it true. Now otherwise, we're going to say this date range is okay. Let's say that for now, and we're going to show this preview, and this one get to be false. Right. We don't have this one yet, so let's do it now. So back to our button. Here we can say ID E10 book. Okay. Now Where's the conflict come from? So if you know about the reservation controller, so here we just create output and we got a field named conflict. So that's where this conflict come from. And now for the hash message, hash preview, which is the ID of the preview here, and message. What we want to do, we want to display the message, all right, and we also want to display the table based on here. Now for now, I just might need to make this message outside of the preview. Okay, and also just make a break inside here. All right, save it. Now refresh the web browser. Okay, so at first we can see this one. We can't click on that. And the same thing with the ended picker as well. Now just click on this one. If I click on, let's say, 13, yeah, and click on this 18. Now I say this date range is not available, which is correct, because between this date range we have one reservation from 14 to 16. Now let's say if I change to, let's say 10 to 12, let's say this date range is okay, and the book now button is enabled, which is great. We're going to apply this to our start date picker as well, but before that, let's calculate how many days between this date range and the total amount that user need to pay and display here. So we got a date and the total amount here. Back to our projects. Now under the end date here, I'm going to create a new variable named days, and we're going to get the end date minus start date. Right. Now we need to divide by 1000, sorry, and 60, and 24, and then plus 1. Right, so you got end dates minus start date. It's result in the milliseconds. Alright, so we need to divide by 10,000 milliseconds, 60 seconds, 60 minutes, and 24 hours, and plus 1. And then we're going to get the exact days between end date and start date. Alright, so the next thing we want to do, we don't need to say this date range is okay, so just remove that. Okay, now here we're going to create a new variable named total, and I'm going to say days multiplied by the price. So we're going to get the price by room.price. Alright, so we got a days and we got a total. Now we want to display that one, so I'm going to say reservation days, right, dot text, and we're going to pass the days. And for reservation sum, this would be text and total as well. Now the last one we want to do is reservation total, okay, and this one is with a value total. Okay, so reservation day and sum is from the preview part here, where you want to display the days and a summary. So basically we just replace this one with this one. For now it's just got an empty content, so we just say text. It's gonna replace the empty content with the exact days and exact total amount. Okay, so for the reservation total here, we just add a value to that, which is total, and we're going to pass to the reservation controller in the total here, and that's why we can create the new reservation with the total amount. I'm going to show you in the browser so you will get this idea. Refresh our web browser. Okay, now we're going to check, let's say if I'm going to book from 18 and 17, right? So this date range is not available, which is correct because between that we got that date reservation. Now if I select 10 and let's say for 12 for example, yep. So we got 3 days and we got a total amount of $645. We're going to add a dollar sign here, so but if you click book now, alright, so your reservation has been created. And yeah, that looks good. If you open your database in SQLite and go to the reservation table, and as you can see in the last record, we got the total amount of 645. And now you understand that's why we need to get the total and insert into database. The last thing we want to do is to apply this checking process to our start date picker, and we're going to do it now. But before that, I'll just put the dollar sign into here. Right, now go back to our date picker. So I'm going to copy from the var here onto here, copy, and put it under here. So inside the onSelect event of the start date picker, everything looks exactly the same, right? Unless here we're going to say reservation ended, and this one we're going to say this, right? Because the start date, we inside the start date itself, so we just say this. All right, everything looks good so far. All right, cool. Now refresh our web browser. Okay, now just make some testing here. So for example, 28, 30. Okay, so we got 3 days, 645, and now if you change the start date, it's going to recalculate everything for you. So now we go. The very last thing we want to add into this form is a price tag. So let's create one. So in our form, we're going to create a new row. And inside that, we're going to create a new column. So MD12. Right, let's create a new span. And for a span, we're going to display the room price. So I'm going to say room.price. Right, another span. We're going to use a class name, pool right. And here we're going to say per night. Right, so we're going to create a new class for price tag. And open style sheet. Into here, we're going to say price tag. And for the price tag, let's say for background color. Now for the color, and for the font size, let's say 20 pixel. For padding, all dimension will be 10 pixel. Margin bottom, 10 pixel. Refresh the web browser. And awesome. Now we have the price per night here and got a price tag, which is really nice to see here. Cool. So far in this task, you learned a very handy and useful skill of how to work with AJAX and controller in Rails. This task is quite a bit advanced, so it's normal if you quite don't understand things at first. But feel free to drop any question on our discussion. Alright, that's it, and I'll see you then in the next challenge.